you mentioned earlier, you can consume 150 plus different types of data. What what kind of data are you really consuming to, let's say, model an ideal sales or a customer service engagement? Because you're mentioning, you can take different data sources from all across the organization, business intelligence tools. I understand you can also take speech analytics tools and different kind of CX metrics, CSAT, FCR, all those kinds of stats.
Yeah.
You consume all of that in order to model this?
Yeah, so let's just talk about a voice contact center, right? Because messaging will be a different set of systems. But on the voice side, you'll have a CCaaS platform. You'll probably have some sort of quality platform where you're measuring things. You may have, you'll definitely have workforce management for scheduling, managing attendance, schedule adherence, breaks, auxes, all those kinds of things. You'll have voice analytics tools that are pushing out sentiment and transcription and other types of activity. You probably also have customer satisfaction surveys coming from another application that's doing surveys to your customers. So if you just think about that, right, that's generating a lot of information every day. You got calls, all the time. You've got surveys coming in all the time. Voice analytics dumping out information about every single call that's happening. Quality doing some results surveys and putting that information in a system about somebody's doing good or bad. Now imagine being a team leader having to go look at all that, trying to figure out what do I need to do to improve somebody. You could pick anything, right, and think that's the right thing on any individual data point.
So this is super interesting because, as I have run and supervised the running of and, consulted on contact center operations in the past, what I tend to see is businesses trying to pull different levels of metrics in an effort to affect an outcome and not knowing the correlation of how the changes to those particular metrics or KPIs are impacting different metrics and KPIs. Now, your software has something that I feel is very useful and somewhat unique in that you have this correlations matrix capability. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. Well, if you look at all the data coming in, right, everything is interconnected. There's nothing really independent of each other within the contact center. So handle time is correlated to customer satisfaction, is correlated to first call resolution, and it's correlated to sales conversion. If you sell more, you're going to have higher handle time because you're talking to customers longer. And there's lots of other little connections within all that data. And people think of data in terms of silos. I have my AHT metric, I have my sales metric, I have my CSAT metric, but in reality, there's an underlying activity that correlates all that stuff together. And then as you take one level down from there, right? So you got the correlations at the end; those are end result metrics. Then you have what's happening within the conversation, right? The voice analytics data, things that you say, the behaviors and sentiment that you have. How does that correlate to all of these things, right? People with higher sentiment, are they really giving you better customer satisfaction? Maybe or maybe not. Maybe they're talking to customers too long. Maybe they're not actually solving the problem, but they have great sentiment. So all these different things are correlated together. And the good thing is AmplifAI has all that data. So we use that correlation to drive our actions, but we also make that visually available to our customers. So they understand, hey, if they're going to start focusing on improving X, like for example, trying to improve customers' NPS results. Well, guess what? If you do that and you try to make that go up, your AHT is probably also going to go up just by default because the things that you're going to do to make that happen are going to drive other activities that are going to drive other metrics. So being able to see all that in a comprehensive view is important for a contact center. Otherwise, you're just in a silo of every metric.